All good things must come to an end. And that's the case with Mercedes' 8-year dominance in Formula One. Last season was Mercedes' worst season in years, literal years, as we all witnessed their unexpected downfall, and this season doesn't seem to be any better for them so far. However, the team has finally learned from its mistakes, and they're correcting them as the season progresses. The Brackley-based team has introduced its much-anticipated upgrades to the W14 at the Monaco Grand Prix. But what are these upgrades? Stay tuned to find out. Some teams had confirmed their plans to introduce important upgrades to their cars for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. However, this wasn't possible because the race was cancelled. With Imola out of the equation, these cars' upgrades were expected to be seen in the coming races, possibly at the Spanish Grand Prix and not in Monaco, which followed Imola. But why? Monaco is a street circuit, and it's not ideal for introducing major new parts. And we're going to look at the reason why that's the case later in detail in this video. So for now, let me tell you that the team is currently a hot topic of discussion in the racing world for doing the exact opposite of what was most expected of them. Mercedes decided that the earlier the better, and instead of waiting for Barcelona in order to introduce the upgrades, they arrived at Monaco with their first major upgrade to the W14. The W14's unique but infamous zero sidepod design, which was only produced one win over the season, has been ditched. Wow, surprise, surprise, everyone's surprised. The W14 now has a change in concept, and it has new sidepods. In order to understand this change, well, let's first take a look at the Mercedes 2022 Challenger, the W13. During testing in Bahrain last season, Mercedes revealed a car that had a little distinctive slit of a radiator duct and almost zero sidepod. Due to the lack of sidepods, the upper impact structure sat exposed in its own little housing. The team had adopted this design, believing that it would give them an advantage over the other teams on the grid in terms of performance. In 2023, the team stuck to their zero sidepod concept for the W14. This concept basically consists of a vertical box-shaped duct feeding air to the cooling system underneath the bodywork and a small sidepod that disappears under the body. And to clarify, I said duct, not duck, although that would be cool. So the side impact structure housing also sat out, exposed just beneath the mirror support. After only one race this season, Mercedes decided, hey, enough is enough, call it. And then team principal Toto Wolff admitted that they had gotten the car concept wrong all along. And they hinted at a car concept change. Now the car revealed that Monaco has a lot more conventional, much wider and longer sidepod design whose upper portion is a downwash ramp style. The sidepod design has a small waterslide style feature on the top surface as the sidepod slopes down to the rear. The top surface of the sidepod of the upgraded car still shares some similarities with that of its predecessor. It has an interchangeable lewd cooling panel that allows heat to be rejected based on the circuit's characteristics in the panel chosen. We're in the cost cap era. I don't need to remind anybody. And because doing a complete overhaul of the car in season as the team would want to is going to be too costly, so Mercedes has not changed its chassis. Certain parts of the initial design, such as the exposed side impact structure support that's now almost to the upper wing, have been retained. Another major upgrade on the W14 is a completely redesigned front suspension system. Initially, the upper wishbone sat on the leading edge of the car's front bulkhead, but it's now been moved higher and further rearward on the chassis. On the other hand, the lower wishbone remains in the same position but with a thicker design than it had. And the pushrod, which is still the same, has been reshaped. This new front suspension system is designed to prevent the front of the car from dropping during braking, which is what's commonly referred to as anti-dive characteristic. So now, we all know how Lewis Hamilton and George Russell have been constantly complaining about how uncomfortable the car is, with Hamilton expressing how much he feels disconnected from the car. Now, this anti-dive feature is going to ensure that the car remains a lot more stable during braking because the floor will stay level instead of tilting forward, which messes with the amount of downforce being created. So, this upgrade will now increase the driver's confidence under braking, which is vital for Monaco. As the driving position that isn't linked by the two drivers, as they feel it's a little bit too close to the front axle, Wolff has revealed that they're actually working to resolve that. However, the driver's got to wait a little bit longer before that's actually done. Monaco is well known for delivering good floor pictures, all thanks to the cranes that are used to lift the cars from the track in case of a crash. Hamilton crashed in FP3, and this gave us a chance to see the W14's new floor in detail. Well, the new floor is a lot more complex compared to that of last year's car, which was, simple, the opposite of complex. The upgraded W14 has a small section of the floor exposed to the base of the sidepod as compared to the big exposed floor section initially. The new floor has a large throat and 2 steps at the back to energize the flow. It has metal edges at the diffuser and floor edges instead of skids. The shape of the front strakes is very similar to that of the Red Bull floor, but their main channels are smooth and boy are they gentle. These new changes are pretty big considering the limited amount of time between Miami and Imola, where these upgrades were scheduled to be introduced. But mind you, my friends, the team didn't build a completely new chassis for the front new suspension layout. What they did was modify the 3 existing chassis by putting new mounting points on them. So the team definitely put in a good amount of work in order to have the upgrades, something that Hamilton recognizes and appreciates. I want to say big thank you to everyone back at the factory to build, design, and develop a car, because it's not an easy thing, and everyone's put in so much time, so many hours of hard work to have us here today. Hamilton said during an interview after FP2 in Monaco. Mercedes and the fans hope that these upgrades will help get them to close the gap on Red Bull and Aston Martin, but Wolff has warned against having high expectations. We also need to be careful not to draw too many conclusions from this one event. We're introducing the first step in a new development direction. It won't be a silver bullet. From my experience, they don't really exist in our sport. We hope that it gives the drivers a more stable and predictable platform. Then we can build on that in the weeks and months ahead, Wolff said. The Monaco street circuit poses a high risk of accidents that could damage new car components because of its many turns and tight corners. A small wrong move for the drivers and you'll find yourself in the wall, as clearly witnessed in this year's event. Sergio Perez crashed in Q1, and Carlos Sainz crashed in FP2, and even Hamilton crashed the upgraded W14 in FP3, so... Also, the track's bumpy layout, low-speed corners, and fast-changing track surface make it real difficult to gather valuable data on aerodynamic performance. So, why did Mercedes decide to bring new upgrades to Monaco despite all the possible risks involved? The team decided to run these new parts as soon as possible because they believe that they will help them improve their performance. In a track where qualifying is everything and often defines your finishing position on Sunday, the team saw no good reason to delay the upgrades till Barcelona. Also, with Imola being cancelled due to flooding, the team would have faced a difficult logistical challenge had it decided to run its original package at Monaco, because that would mean flying back to Brackley and then to Monaco. Which obviously would have been very expensive with the cost cap in place. So the big question now is, how have the upgrades impacted Mercedes' performance in Monaco? Well, Hamilton and Russell qualified 6th and 8th respectively. Then in the Sunday race, Hamilton and Russell finished 4th and 5th respectively. While talking about the upgraded car after qualifying, Hamilton said, "It definitely feels like it's going in the right direction." He also said the car had improvements in some areas, which he refused to say. Wolff said that they hadn't seen any negativity with the car. "At least we haven't seen any behavior of the car that would have been deemed as really negative," said Wolff. However, both Wolff and Hamilton admitted that Monaco isn't a place where they can judge the upgrades, especially the new side pods. "It's difficult with Monaco. It's really difficult to judge," said Wolff. Hamilton also said this, "I don't think we're going to get a full read of something like the new side pods until we get to Barcelona, where we'll see the car come more alive." As we now look forward to Barcelona, do you think that these major upgrades are going to improve the W14's performance, or will it take more upgrades? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section down below. And that's it for today, guys. Award us the like if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to end your viewing in style, just like Verstappen did in his Q3 flying lap in Monaco. So by hitting that subscribe button, you're going to get more amazing F1 content. And if you don't want that, then you're not an F1 fan. Get out of here. Broom, back the f*** up. Okay, bye.